What's going on? What's going on? Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. And welcome to Change Your Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Y'all see, we got a new little thing going on today. Your boy ain't got a, I'm still without my automobile and everything. So he at the lab and everything. But you know what? Like I said before, you can't keep a good man down. So we're going to do
That's
the dual, dual location shot and everything. We've got a great show planned for you guys tonight. Tonight we're talking about a subject matter that I think that is real near and dear to me, and that's really just really black fatherhood and public perception, and how we can change the narrative. Again, we're talking about black fatherhood and public perception, and changing the narrative with that, because far too often, depending on who you're talking to, and
hmm
depending on where you're listening at, you can hear all kind of different things in regards to the particular subject matter. And I wanted to have a conversation with my brother Lab because, like I said, now this ain't something I want to do solo dolo. Cause
right.
Lab is at the Misfit studio and everything. I had to just get all my stuff here. I'm like, damn, man, I got my Christmas tree and everything out, and all like, man, I had to move around and stuff. But yes, sir, we're gonna make it happen. But man, we got I think we got a great show planned for you guys, and also it should be a great conversation. But feel free, guys. Now, the only thing I will say, I ain't got to call in, but you were welcome
Okay.
to put everything in the chat with everything. Now, the cool thing about it now, I think we can the chat can show during the conversation with everything.
hmm
Let me make okay, yeah, okay, yeah. So everything's fine with that. But again, we're talking about black fatherhood and public perception. Before we get started, I want to say what's up to Mouse producer DJ Lab.
What's going on, brother? Another great Thursday, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Bad day of the week, my brother. Bad day of the
That's
week.
right. That's right.
Um, also, what's up to my other producer, Slick 316? What's up, Rika?
What's going on, Rick? Is she
The
in the building?
huh?
Is she in the building? I don't see her.
I hope she's in the building.
She might be in the building. She take a little minute to get going, but is she in the building?
Okay, okay. What's happening, Rick? But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on with me, Lab. This was last minute. I thought I had some. Well, like, man, I ain't want to be moving and stuff like that. We're doing certain things, though. I said, we're gonna make it happen regardless. I appreciate you coming in, but
No problem. Anytime.
I
Anytime.
appreciate. But see, the reason why I want to have this conversation because, well, first, we this is Change the Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, and Change the Lives. Motivation channel where we talk about fatherhood, especially from my perspective of motivational, professional development, and I try to give it from a black father's perspective. And that's why this subject matter of me being a mentor to young men, even with my own children over the years, I hear a lot of things about fathers, especially black
hmm
fathers, that I think
hmm
that's BS. And I think a lot of times, a lot of those conversations are rooted in people's personal situations instead of, holistically, or who you
hmm
deal with and how you feel how fatherhood is. So I want to have this conversation in regards to black fatherhood and again and adjusting how or really having a discussion about how it is even with public perception. Because see, a
That's
lot of
right.
times society for decades, hell, longer than that, they had a narrative that black fathers are absent, uninvolved, uninterested. But in actuality, that's not necessarily the truth. Black
Right.
fathers present, intentional, loving, and evolving. The thing of it is, I think far too often people so focus again so much on what they have to deal with.
hmm
I ain't saying there's ain't no bad situations out there, but at the
hmm
end, we start painting that wide brush on so
Right.
many things. That's what that's where the danger comes in. And so I wanted to have that conversation because
I, and, I don't think it's just the perception that people have with their own narrative. I think it's a uh, public thing too. I think it's a narrative that has been pushed for a very, very long time, and to our detriment, we haven't done anything as Black fathers to dissuade that narrative. Um, we kind of just do our thing with our family and keep pushing on. We don't really worry about the outside because we have so many things that we have to do and take care of that a lot of times we just let that stuff just go over our heads. But we have to do a better job of pushing our own narratives with our family and children.
I totally agree with you. And that's to be honest with you, just the whole point of having this discussion today. Because far too often, when we start talking about black fathers, you hear people they'll say certain things, and we got certain images and everything, especially advent of social media.
Hmm.
it's funny. What's going on, mama? My mama just
What's going on,
telling me,
mama? Hey, mama.
hey, what's happening, mama? Far too often, with social. It's funny. Uh, a partner of mine, Tyrone Hines, he put was another someone else had the post, and Ty had commented on it. I think it was on one of the Fulton County schools. Police had tased the young man on the school bus, and everybody was like, make it public," and they wanted to share it, right? But remember,
Hmm.
it was a snippet, and I won't get too far off the subject. What we're talking about with far as black fatherhood and public perception. But the point I want to get at, my buddy, he made a post where he was saying that, hey man, y'all didn't get the whole story. And far too often, I'm telling you, people just go off whatever they see at that particular time. What
Hmm.
started it, what goes on, what happened afterwards. People don't think like that. I say that all the time, Lab. 85% of the world don't function in logic. So
No,
when
no.
people, unfortunately, when people see shit, that's it, right?
Hmm.
Police did this, the teacher did that, the bullies did this, and they only
Hmm.
see that one thing, right? And they don't process that, hey, what all happened, facts, try to figure stuff out. And everybody not wired like that, right? That's why we got more
Right.
doers than next people that are creators in the world. And that's not me trying to call people dumb or talk about anybody's intelligence. It's just the way things are.
That's the way.
Just
That's the way things are, especially nowadays with social media. The first thing you see, you ready to jump off emotions and 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 have a fit and go and crash out over something that might not even be the way that it seems because we don't realize that these things, social media and stuff like that, those narratives are meant to push your emotions. They're meant to push your buttons to go a certain way. So sometimes we got to sit back and what they say, count to 10 and think about it for a second and then research a little bit and then go into it. But we don't do that with, like you said, we don't do that with a lot of things. We don't do that with a whole bunch of things. We just are reactive instead of uh, proactive. We just react.
And unfortunately, I don't see that changing anytime soon. But the good part, we having a conversation like we're having tonight. Again, we're talking about black fatherhood and public perception. Um, the thing I want to start off with, right? And guys, feel free to leave in the comments in the chat. You got any questions or comments, anything, please feel free to add anything. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. I'm also streaming on Mr. Short Doll as well. But I think you have to
Hmm.
cross platform subject matter with that, even though Miss Shortall is a finance channel. But definitely, guys, if you have any questions or comments, please, please, please feel free to leave it in the chat. So when we start off with everything, the first thing I always look at just the narrative, versus the reality of everything. We
Hmm.
start talking about black fatherhood and public perception. The public often tells a story that doesn't reflect what's really happening. And you start thinking about the narrative, what's
Hmm.
people understood or what's said. Black fathers are missing. Black men don't raise their kids. Black households lack leadership. Now, here's the deal when we start thinking about, some from a statistical standpoint, we can say children born out of wedlock, kids not present. A kid born out of wedlock doesn't necessarily mean the dad is not around, it means he's married to the
Right,
mom, right?
right, right, right.
You know, sometimes I think we get so stuck on certain things like the situation or how things are, it's kind of I don't I haven't really seen any data,
Hmm.
in regards to co-parenting, in regards to how certain
Hmm.
things are done. Now I'm not saying that's when you hear 70-80% of black kids are born out of wedlock. I'm not
Hmm.
saying that's not a startling statistic, but you do have to go deeper into certain things. We're looking okay is the dad is not present or the dad is just not with the mama,
Right.
right?
And I think that narrative of not being married to the mother and children being born out of wedlock is one of them things that I took personally when I had my children, and that's why I got married so young because I didn't want to be one of them statistics, even though there's no statistical data that shows either way. I didn't want to be one of them statistics because, of course, the public perception was that. So I didn't want to, you know, um, keep pushing that narrative. So that's why I got married so young. I didn't necessarily have to be with my ex-wife in order to raise my children properly, but I felt that that was one of the things that I needed to do besides, in order to make sure that my children know that I was present, I was there, and I loved them enough in order to sacrifice that part to be with them and raise them. So that right there was one of those things that, as far as public perception is concerned, that I took to heart, and that's why I got married so young at 18. So you know,
And man, that's a valid point. But see, the thing of it is just especially going through that married 20 years and then getting a divorce. As you go through a lot of that stuff, you be like, shit, man, was it really necessarily needed with certain things? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Sometimes you just
Hmm.
wonder, you just think about was this needed? Some things, you being present is very
Hmm.
important. But sometimes even with
Right.
the title or some things, you just
Hmm.
you wonder with that, but you really
Right.
don't know until you go through it. To be totally
Right.
honest with you, you never, you
Right.
never, you really won't, till you get the experience of doing it. So we start
That's
thinking about
right.
the narrative in regards to Black fatherhood and public perception. We just went through that narrative part, but in reality, Black fathers are more involved in their children's daily lives, and that
Right.
most of the stereotypes, types, especially me being a father that coached all my sons in youth league. Don't get me wrong, I did see. Oh my God, I got one of your cousins out there. Somebody.
I know. I know if you
This, this,
noticed
this
it, but
on
yeah,
this is on
that's YouTube.
on YouTube. Po fella,
Yeah.
you can't even spell that good. Okay, we're gonna get
Nah,
you
he
out.
tried to be funny.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. We can fix that. But
Hmm.
there were two been with cousins have sex or
Right.
siblings have sex. That's what happens, man. Boy,
Right. Right.
boy, you can't not sleep with your brother and sisters. Ain't meant to date. He ain't meant to date. They come
Sometimes I
out
wonder what
all
people.
stuff and confused, boy.
Right.
Oh, poor fella. But just those in reality, you do see more fathers that are involved and stuff. Just with doing certain things, even at the schools and stuff. Um,
Hmm.
and unfortunately, it's just that you see if when you see it, it's kind of like it's a surprise, man. Some dads here, some dad. I mean, and it
Right.
shouldn't be that way. And here's the
Right.
deal. Here's the deal, lab. As um, my oldest son, it kind of adjusted. When we were living in the South Side of Atlanta, like my oldest T31. When you start putting in perspective that when he was first black kid in his only black kid in his kindergarten class in Stockbridge, and I think probably Stockbridge probably 80%
Mm-hmm.
black now.
Right.
So you know how the demographics done change. But I say that to say, yeah, you didn't really see too many white daddies at the damn
Right.
schools. You just seen the
Right.
mothers, right? So it was less a race thing, more of a gender thing from what I seen.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Right, because
And
generally the fathers be at work, and that's a narrative that I think a lot of times that get lost with us. We don't even think about that because when it comes to white folks, when the father's not there or around or at the school function, it's because he's at work. But when we're not around, it's because we're not part of the family or because we're absent fathers. You get what I'm saying? Like we can't be at work too during the day, and our our wives are at the school because they're able to do that while we're still making money to support the family. The narrative is always changes when it comes to black fathers. It's like, oh, the mother's up here because the father's not present. But when the white mother's up there by herself, it's because the father's at work. You know what I'm saying? That narrative has been pushed as well too.
absolutely, because here's the deal. Just being, brutally honest with you, it just come down to, to your point, like dad at work. Hell, it can just be as simple as interest.
Hmm.
If just mama taking him to the doctor, mama's cooking dinner. It's just straight gender roles. Fair or
Hmm. And
unfair,
daddy
it's
might
just
not
how it
can't
is,
cook. Daddy
huh?
might not can't cook. He might suck at cooking.
Well, if you can or can't, it's just accepted more that hey, mama doing
Right.
that. It's just, but
Right.
when you don't see certain things, especially with black folks, it's just the dad ain't around, right?
Hmm.
That's what I'm
Hmm.
saying. Like when some of the school functions you go to and everything, uh, it can be perceived. I look at it like some dads here, as opposed
Hmm.
to like okay, the black father's not around, right?
Right.
But unfairly, that's how it is. And I'm gonna be real with you. I think a lot of it is caused by us too. Again, you
Mm.
say white folks will look at it a certain way, but I think a lot of that is caused by us too. I remember
Hmm.
when PJ was born, and people, I get in my damn. I done calmed down a lot as I got older, and I remember he was born, and the nurse came in with the paperwork to sign for the social security number, right? And
Hmm.
so she just said, "Where's the mother?" I ain't said hey or nothing to me.
Right.
Going to the
Right.
paperwork. And I like, hey, the MF got my name. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Well, why are you
Right.
knocking on
Right.
that house? She know that's sleep, you
Right.
know. Well, I
Right.
just want to ask her, what you want to ask her for? And it was
Right.
just the total blatant, I felt then, I felt now
Disrespect.
disrespect that I'm a
Yeah.
man. The damn baby got my same damn name, but you will walk
Hmm.
past me to talk to me. You know,
Hmm.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was just there was just no respect from that. And I'm gonna tell you something, Lab. Over the years, and we'll talk about it more in the show. You know, when I got my divorce, ain't no secret. The boys, we did joint custody, joint physical and
Hmm.
legal custody, but 80% of the time the kids were with me. Nothing
Hmm.
bad. Or no shade against my ex-wife. Just how we had it worked out on paper. I say that to say, so pretty much I'm dealing with the teachers all the time.
Right. Right.
And for we talking about for hell the past 6, 7, 8 years. I'm just telling you, man. You tell these teachers, even when I was married, I was still mainly dealing with the teachers. You tell them I'm the primary point of contact.
Right.
I'm the primary point of contact for some damn reason. Well, we want to try to speak to the mother, and you get my number. You call. We will look to speak to that mother. You see the father on there, and it's just
Right.
like, come on now, man. You know it's intentional.
Hmm.
You get what I'm
It's
saying?
most definitely intentional. It's most. I don't think that teachers or doctors or anybody think that we know our children. I don't think that they think that we are around enough to know our children's needs, wants, sicknesses, and health and stuff like that. I just don't think that they think we do. When most of the time we are there, we are the ones taking care of them. I mean, I no, I have three children. They're all in their 30s now. But when I was younger, when I had my children, we all, when they were babies, I took care of my children. I made sure that they when they had colds that we got them medicine. I when they went to bed, all that stuff, I took care of them as their father, because not because I it was my responsibility, which it was, but because I love to do it. I love to talk to them. I love to smile with them, and I don't think that a lot of people, especially when it comes to administrative people, teachers, and stuff, think that we are that involved with our children. I just don't think that they believe that.
Well, I don't think they give a damn. I mean, if they believe it or don't believe it, I don't think they give a damn.
Mm,
That's the point. I just look at it with that, man. People like it's just like when you get certain titles, or just say you somebody remarry, or you get like a new designation at your job or something like that, and you say, I want to be
hmm.
addressed this way, or I want to handle things this way. And really comes down to if people gonna respect that new change that you letting people know. Female just got married, changed her name. You just got you became, Dr. Lab or whatever.
Hmm.
People gotta, if they don't choose to respect it or acknowledge that, it's just how that is, right?
Right, right,
And,
right,
and, and at some point, like I'm just saying that if you gotta sit here and say, well, look, MF, I done told you how I want to be addressed. I
right,
told you
right.
that, and I told you that, like I'm the father, and people just however they want to just look at it, they're just gonna handle it that way, lad. You know what I mean?
I
And I
get it.
think that's
I get it.
that's the thing about it. If I don't think it's an issue of not understanding. I just think they just don't care, right?
Mm,
And,
hmm.
and that's the thing about it. Like just um, and that can be based off what they seen, what they believe, or however. But I just think for the most part, lab, people just do not want to um look at it the same way,
Hmm.
the same
Hmm.
respect. Just
Right.
fathers are for discipline and all that stuff, and mothers are for raising. you
Hmm.
know. And I felt a lot of times, even with my kids in the school system and stuff, and my kids always had phenomenal teachers. I ain't finna
Hmm.
sit here and just whatever. And my boys, good boys too. But I do think a lot of times teachers were very uncomfortable. Hey guys, I want to say something. And I apologize. If you're looking at the show on Instagram, Instagram is not connected. I thought it would be to the audio with Lab. So I
Hmm.
will tell you guys this. You probably want to go to the YouTube channel. Because again, I thought the audio would be, and it's the same thing probably with TikTok as well. So I would
Mm,
say I would advise you to go to the YouTube channel
mm,
and check out the show, because again,
check.
Lab, the audio for TikTok or Instagram. I thought it would be connected with the phones because it
Hmm.
should have been, but it's not, and ain't nothing I can do right now about it. So I
Okay,
will
yeah.
say,
Yeah,
so
because my
what
audio's coming through the computer and my headphones, so you probably won't be able to hear it as much as you would be if I was just
what's come to my board
talking through
too.
my. Oh, okay,
You
okay,
see everything
okay.
going through. So I got what you got, lab. I ain't got
Oh,
a
okay,
house what you got. So
okay.
everything's going through my board, lab. So the everything from the string yard, the Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. The Instagram and TikTok is not going through the board. So
Okay.
everything's going through the board. So I would just say, guys, if you're looking at everything on Instagram, I would advise you to go to Facebook, or you can go to Facebook or to YouTube, Facebook or YouTube, and you'll be able to hear Lab talking.
We got to get you the proper thing so it can go. Your audio can be through your TikTok and Instagram too, through your board. I'll show you what you need next time you come.
Okay, cool, 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 cool,
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Well, this is the same thing we do at the show. It's just that it's out. The phones are out.
Yeah, the
That's
phone's out, but I'm talking about as far as my audio and your audio coming in through Instagram. There's a device you can get that will make both audios come in through the from the board to the Instagram.
I should have did. I could have did it with the. We'll get it straightened out. I could have did it
Hmm.
with the stream yard. I wasn't thinking about it, so that's my
Hmm.
fault. But
Hmm.
when we start talking about those things, the problem really isn't that isn't our presence. It's really the story that people just tell. And at
Hmm.
the end of the day, you have to be okay with correcting folks.
Right,
When you turn a
right.
blind eye, somebody do you wrong, that's on you, right? Because I
Hmm.
always feel when you don't check people and you don't address things, people feel that they can say certain things. Shannon turns out on Facebook, you can see both of y'all, but Instagram, you're gonna see. Yeah, the Instagram is not connected. Appreciate that the Instagram is not connected. Or the TikTok to the audio, so it's just not connected to the board. That's all. We can't do anything about it. I apologize about it. Might as well let me close that out. So, um, we're done with it. But the thing of it, if you don't check people, if you don't address it, or even
Hmm.
try to correct certain things, it could be some things that you probably aren't do that. I don't say wrong, but it's just some things you might want to move in a different direction when we start talking about as far as fatherhood, or even just things you
Hmm.
do in general. If you don't fix it, again, people can continue to move and do certain things in a certain way. Let me get out there too.
A lot of times we don't fix it because it's so minor, it's so minimal to what we have going on in our everyday. It's not worth our time, especially when you talk about black fathers and the things we have to do and the things that are expected of us when it comes to our narrative and the perspective and the perception that people have of us. We have to do so many things to change that narrative, to change that perspective, that we just don't have time for the trivial stuff, especially when we're raising children, because you know we have so many things to deal with them, but also just on our everyday life as being their provider and stuff like that. So a lot of times it's just like I ran into a lot of things like that when I was growing, especially me being a young father and being married. I ran into a lot of things where I probably should have checked the person or checked the situation, but it just wasn't worth my time. I had so many other things to worry about, so many other things to stress over that I just didn't want to put my energy into that. I guess I want to say, it's just one of those deals. It's just not something that I wanted to waste time doing.
I'll be putting on mute when you're talking. Well, to your point, lad, that's how we say sometimes, if it ain't making dollars, it ain't making sense. And we got, as
Hmm.
far as we got to be out here taking care of business and
Hmm.
back and forth and arguing and all that shit, that ain't really going to get stuff taken care of. So we have to just hop on the stuff that's most important at a particular time. So I definitely understand what you're talking about with that, man. Again, tonight show we're talking about black fatherhood and public perception and how we can change the narrative. The second part I want to talk about is just kind of what I alluded to a little earlier. Public perception didn't create itself. The negative narrative came from somewhere, right? It came from
Hmm.
some that well. There be limited
Hmm.
media representation. And let's be real,
Mm.
we've had little snippets. Uh, Bill Cosby, the Cosby Show,
Right,
Carl
right,
Winslow.
right.
I'm finna start reaching. Sanford and Son. Uh, I'm probably making my damn point. Good Times.
Mm-hmm.
and everything. But it's so limited and everything. And then
Mm-hmm.
and even those points of just black fatherhood, a lot of that was damn really outside of Huxtables, and I won't say funny. It's always some, we got to be joking and jiving, doing some
Shucking and
damn
jiving.
Sambo
Yeah.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
dynamite. We got it.
Yeah.
Got to be some kind of negative nigga shit going on in
Yeah.
between. Like you just, just being straight up. It ain't just like okay,
Right.
like you know,
I don't
um,
think we got to a more I don't think we got to a more professional standard of representation until we got to the Cosby Show. But we have to realize that those narratives are starting to fade away now. If you look at TV now and a lot of the shows that they have on, and this is the era that we live in. This is the reality that we live in. Most of the shows are just starting to be totally white cast now. There's no really representation. I was watching some show the other day and no, I was at the doctor's office the other day, and they had a bunch of Christmas commercials on. And of course, they had a plethora of people within the Christmas commercial, and they had a Black Santa Claus. But then the Black Santa Claus goes and starts stealing, Christmas cookies and the food from the table. I'm like, well, why Black Santa got to go steal stuff? So the narrative is starting to go back to what it was before when it comes to media. We're the thieves, we're the crooks, we're this, everything negative that has to do with black men is starting to come back around again. So we have to be very careful of consuming that kind of stuff and making sure that we do our best to not, capitulate that stereotype. I just don't I don't know how we would do it, but we got to do something better.
well, you start off just not accepting bullshit. A lot of
Right.
time because people say stuff that don't necessarily make it right. Even
Mhm.
when you just say you see certain things, because when we start talking about, how it was created, like I said, limited media representation, old government statistics, like I just said earlier, taken out of context,
Mhm.
new stories that highlight dysfunction but ignore success. It's easy for me to sit here and go back and forth talk about somebody dumbass, crazy ass daddy, but we ain't gonna
Mhm.
sit here and just and that goes from the public or even from within. People don't necessarily want to highlight the success someone's father had, right?
Right.
But it's
Right.
easy to talk about what their father did wrong, right?
Mhm.
And it's we do that a lot of times,
Right,
and when you
right.
don't address it enough when people are doing certain things, that's how that is and stuff. Get my damn notes all boogered up. Society is more comfortable discussing black struggle than black strength. A lot of
Mhm.
times, and let's be real. Me and you talked about this. You go on TikTok. Some of the hottest stories about what black men that have been in prison talking about them
Mhm.
witnessing prison rape. Black
Mhm.
men that have been in prison talking about how they made certain dishes and
Mm.
meals in
Right.
prison.
I'm
Now,
not on TikTok. I'm about to go with you on that. But yeah.
yeah, boy, I be sitting there like, and people like, yeah, man, yeah, that's how you make a prison cookie. I'm like, what the
Why are we talking about
fuck?
this? Right.
Hey, and
Right.
I'm just saying, and I'm not knocking nobody. I'm just saying this is the things that somebody sit here and say, well, that guy, his daddy did this, or that father did this. That is none of that shit. It's horrific shit where people have not uh been present or done some
Mhm.
things. And you know what? One of the biggest things that I never hear people talk about, and I ain't trying to push on stuff, is people acknowledge I got these kids, but
Mhm.
acknowledge that they miss certain stuff or they did. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, right,
own, and if they do own it, it's a quick own.
right. Quick
Somebody tell you,
on.
somebody give you a dry ass apology, like they say
Mhm.
sorry, but
Mhm.
everything about that sorry say I don't really give a fuck for what I just said. You understand what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right.
Like what the hell? What the hell was that? You know what I'm saying? Well, my
Right,
bad. I
right,
ain't mean to do it or whatever. You shouldn't have
right,
did this. Oh, hold on. If I shouldn't have did the
right.
shit, or you apologize. Which one? You know what I'm
Which
saying? Don't give
one?
me this.
Which one we going with?
Yeah, only the punk ass apology, with that. If you did, if you don't mean it, own it. And a lot of times you
Right.
see people that'll say certain things. And I think sometimes, people getting their own stuff and they eat at them from their guilt, right?
Mhm.
But just those kind of things, systems historically designed, to separate black families, they set in
Mhm.
place. They set in
Yeah.
place. But you got to fix it, right? So what happens?
Yeah.
when we show up, ain't acknowledged, ain't acknowledged. You sit
No,
down,
it's
whatever.
not.
Oh, there,
It's
there
not.
go his daddy. There go the daddy. You know,
Right, right.
when you treat it like that, when you present, people treat you like you ain't there. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
constant misrepresentation. It creates pressure, frustration, and sometimes mental burnout for black fathers who doing everything right, but you still feel
Mm-hmm.
unseen. You know what
And
I'm
most
saying? You
definitely.
doing everything right, bruh. I coach every one of my kids. My children can sit here and say they probably can count on the finger some shit that I didn't attend. I
Mm-hmm.
ain't finna sit here and say my kids, unappreciative. I ain't finna sit here and say that. But I, man, I don't really feel like I got no whatever, no
Mm-hmm.
uh appreciate recognition or
Credit.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I hear the
Mm-hmm.
most ignorant shit. I can tell you what I heard. I'm glad we had this conversation. You ain't supposed to. You're not supposed to get recognized because that's what you're supposed
Right.
to do.
That's what
But
you're
you know what's
supposed to
amazing?
do.
You know what's amazing though? Cats that don't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they going on Facebook. Such and such daddy came to their program. And such daddy ain't did shit.
Right.
I ain't such
Right.
a daddy. You know what I'm saying? That's that parental guilt because they know that the other dad, the other parent ain't nothing. They don't want to bring that up when they do. They'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll highlight it. But if you're in
Because it's not done often. So what happens is when it's something that's not done often, it's highlighted because it's not done often. Whereas when like me and myself and you and myself, we're there at those events all the time. It's just automatically assumed that we're going to be there. You get what I'm saying? It's automatically assumed that that's what we're going to do because we know that's what we have to do. Whereas the father who does nothing never does anything. So when he does one thing, oh, it's balloons go up in the air and fireworks go off because we don't know when it's gonna happen again. So we better celebrate this one time.
well, I told you the bullshit I heard was, well, why we gonna talk about it? Because that's what you're supposed to do. Now you ain't
Right,
never seen
right,
nobody else do that same shit before.
right,
You ain't never
right,
seen
right,
nobody else do that same shit before, and you ain't
right.
either, right? And so
Hmm.
that's the thing about it. So when you are involved, and not, it's just like a slap, it burn your ass out. Not to stop you from
Hmm.
doing what you're supposed to do, but you
Right.
feel a certain type of way. Guys, in the comments, please leave. Put a comment and just let me know what is your perception of black fatherhood. What is your perception of black fatherhood? It ain't no right or wrong. Ain't nobody gonna take that
Hmm.
personally. Ain't nobody tripping. We all family. That's why I had these discussions. I ain't trying to sit here and tell nobody what to say, whatever. So your opinion is just your opinion. So ain't no right or wrong.
Hmm.
So I just want everybody to know that's how I am. So you ain't gonna get beat up and down like that if you
Yeah.
feel a certain type of way about anything. But what are you guys' perceptions on black fatherhood? Because lab again, these conversations don't get said enough. And I'm
Right.
just, and we have them in private, right?
Hmm.
And then like, hey man, I tried to do this, I tried to do that, but a lot of times, lab, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I look at certain things, white folks can have all kind of ideas.
Hmm.
Asian
Hmm.
people can have all kind of ideas of perception, what they think. Indians, whatever. But I think and I don't see any other race critique themselves, especially in comparison to others, like we do.
Hmm. Oh,
You
we
know
we
what I'm saying?
definitely
And
we
don't
definitely
know enough
critique
shit
ourselves hard.
about white folk. You know what I'm saying? Me being in the
Hmm.
military, so I'm seeing, these interactions and doing stuff like that, even though again it's still limited because I'm dealing with military people, right?
Right. Right.
How the hell white folk do if you don't live with white folk? How the hell
Right.
what Mexican folk do if you don't live with Mexican folks?
Right.
Not the one you just, share a break room with, or the one
Hmm.
stay down the street. Like in totality, is the white man standing in the street representative of all white people? Is
Right. Right.
the only black person, black family in that neighborhood representative of all black people? You see what I be talking about? This that
Yeah.
logic shit.
But unfortunately, our encounters does make us put how we encounter with a white person or a black person, that makes their representation, they make them the representative of all of us. Unfortunately, because we don't have any other encounters. You get what I'm saying? We may have a neighbor that's white, so we talk to him every now and then our conversations with him may go off the rails or may be funny. So we just make him a representative for all white folks because this is the only encounter we have. It's not fair, but that's just how it is. It's just Man, my neighbor say the same thing. My neighbor do the same thing. And we may see two or three white folks do that same thing, but because my neighbor did it and this other person did it, now we just think everybody, all white folks do it. You get what I'm saying? So the less accounts we have, the more that person is going to represent the entirety of the people.
But do that make
Unfortunately,
any? But do that make any goddamn sense? But see, that's
it
what I'm
does not.
saying.
But the encounter, since the encounters are not are minimal, what else do you have to go on?
Just say that fool that I seen because you are
We talk
not.
about human. We talk about human behavior. They don't. We don't do that.
But see, that's the thing. What I'm getting at, Lab. See, here's the deal, Lab. That's why I cause so much hell in corporate America. I'm just telling you
Hmm.
that because at the end of the day, you got to have enough common sense to think that just every because that's the deal. You know, just say a woman rude to you, sister rude to you
Hmm.
at the gas station, and y'all whatever. Black women do this. Black, nah, she did it.
Hmm.
You can't be that damn stupid. You know, like man,
Right.
people are. Well, black women
Hmm.
always do this. Black women always do that. Nah, she did. She, you know,
She
she,
did that.
yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now again, I get it. You're pissed and things, or will you know go across your mind. I get it, but you got to be more mindful. So you say, well, man, these black men don't do this. These black men, nah, that black man that you slept with, that you
The
dealt with,
ones
your
you keep
baby daddy.
picking.
We don't want to
Right.
talk about that. We don't
Right.
want to talk about him. No,
But you just made your own point because we talk about relationships. Well, I don't want to get too far off the topic, but it's all black men do or all black men don't. So that one person or your type that you keep picking keeps doing this. So now he represents all of us. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, that's why I said that's why you gotta have enough common sense because it's easier for me to blame spread stuff on there than me own
Hmm.
my own shit. Or
Right.
just say,
Right.
okay, look, this how it is, right? Because you have enough common sense to be like, nah, man, you know, every black owned business are not gonna be, you know, shady or
Yeah.
do certain things like
Right.
that.
Right.
The thing of it is just that you might just be in proportion because you don't have that many. So
Hmm.
you're not going to necessarily go into a black owned restaurant and everybody's going to function like Chick-fil-A, right? You
Right.
know, that's
Right.
just, you know, statistics. I don't get, you know, most white owned restaurants not going to function out like that. But depending on where
Right.
you at and the actual, you know, interactions, if you could, you know, black, you mostly going to run across black owned businesses, right? If
Shoot,
I'm
Chick-fil-A
living,
ain't functioning like Chick-fil-A no more. Like since
but
the
you get
owners
what
and
I'm
two
saying, though.
executives. Right.
You,
Right. I get what
just
you're
like
saying.
we talking about perceived standards, right? So
Hmm.
we looking at it, that's what we want to have. But if you depending on what area you're on and stuff like that, it's just certain things like, okay, look, man, these how these are going to be, or these are. But if you go to other areas outside of franchises,
Hmm.
you're gonna have similar shit go on. Yeah,
Hmm.
you know what I mean. But if you hardly ever go there, you ain't gonna see it. You won't see that. You know.
Right.
And I
I
hear
get
people
what you're
say
saying.
those kind of things. That was we got to be very, 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 very careful with holistic thinking. You got to be very careful with that because when you start putting everybody in that same barrel, you'll never be able to actually point out correct problems because you're gonna always
Hmm.
flip them on certain things. Well, Slick
Hmm.
said, what's going on, Reek? Slick
What's
says,
going on, Rick?
then people will take that and repeat it. Now we got people saying the same shit, but it's true or false. But seen a few people say it has to be true, and I'm telling you, and that's the thing about it.
Hmm.
Far too often, because people think a certain way or people do a certain thing is true, and that's the
Hmm.
thing about it, man. Is what's the sister name? Oh man, the fine sister. She Doctor such and such was it Doctor Bryant? She was on Cam
I,
Newton, and then she was on
I remember what you said. Yeah, I remember
yeah.
her. I just don't remember her name.
No, man, I forgot. Somebody in the chat put a sister name, and she's doing the whole little, you know, things going on different folks shows. She has her own platform too. She's supposed to be a
Hmm.
psychologist or
Hmm.
in a relationship and all this other kind of things. And because she's so articulate, oh, she's sharp. I like her. She say what
Right.
she keep it real and all this bullshit. God, no, man,
Right.
her ass
Right.
is she's giving her opinion. And
Right.
and we got to be very, very careful. Now, I'm a big proponent of listening to people that are credentialed, educated, and stuff like that, getting their opinion. I think we should listen to attorneys, we should listen to accountants, we should listen to the doctors, we should listen even to the counselors and psychologists, that are actual subject matter experts. I'm
Right.
very damn opinion. I'm very, very careful with listening to people that aren't necessarily credentialed and just giving their opinion. And because they
Mm,
sound good, it is good. My opinion is just that. When we talking now, we talking. At the end of the day,
mm,
I want y'all to understand that this is just my opinion on certain things. And the key thing with my opinion, I'm going to give you a reason why I feel. And you may look at it and say, Poochie, I still don't agree with you. That's cool.
mm,
But I'm telling you why I feel. And if you kick well, Poochie, this is like you just mentioned before, like how people interaction. I still have
mm.
to, just might not agree with you, but I can tell you why.
Right.
You can tell me why. But people have to be very, very careful. Excuse me, very careful with that. Slick says, look at people, look at how people read stuff on social media. It has to be true when it's mostly lies. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. And that's what I was saying mostly earlier. When people see those 30-second snippets, they don't see
Mm,
the cause of the argument or whatever. Drama catches on quicker than facts. Absolutely.
mm.
Absolutely. N-word stuff. That's the thing about it. People thrive on it.
Right. Right.
People
Right.
thrive on it, just to see it and everything,
And that's the narrative that has caught on for Black fathers, unfortunately. The drama, the mess, all that stuff. When it comes to Black fatherhood, that's what that's what sells better, I guess. That's what you know gets the headlines read and changes the algorithm. And that's just something we have to work on changing. Like we saying earlier in the show, we can't just let the narrative be that. We have to be able to change it, especially when everybody that I interact with on these podcasts are great fathers. Like all of them. And I haven't yet to see one that's not a good father, that don't take care of his children, that don't put his children first. And if the narrative was true that Black fathers not around, most of these people wouldn't be doing what they doing. But I see it, I hear it, not just in the podcast, but out in the streets too. So how and then we're talking about interactions with a lot of black men and black fathers that do a very good job of taking care of their children, even if they're with or not with the mother. So it's just one of those deals.
It's unfortunate, but people, like I said, people don't
Hmm.
want to own their own shit. Like your
Right,
bad experience is just that. Mine is too. You know what
right.
I'm saying? Mine is too. And a lot of times things be unhealed situations.
Hmm.
Things ain't been corrected. You know what I'm saying?
I
Yeah,
think
when I got my divorce, I was a bitter bear. You know what I'm saying? And all this
I,
other kind of stuff.
I was too, but I think what we have to understand is that um we may have a negative aspect or negative view, especially when we get divorced and things like that. And we have to realize, even if we do have we're bitter, we still take care of our children though. I don't think when we get divorced, for me myself personally, when I got divorced, I never discussed with my children why I got divorced. I never talk bad about their mother. I never give them a bad scenario about her. I never do that because they're still their mother at the end of the day, right? You get what I'm saying? Like they're still their mother. So I'm not going to, even if she talked bad about me and I'm the worst person on earth, I'm not going to ever give them that narrative that she's a bad person because she's still their mother. She was still blessed me with three children. We were married for 25 years, so it had to be something out of those 25 years that while we stayed together for so long. It might have been just the children, but still in all, I think that whole talking bad about the mother and father thing needs to stop as well because it doesn't do anything but either make the child against the father or make the child against the mother. And I think as a collective, you need to be together and be able to raise a child together with the or if y'all not in the same household or not. And that negative energy doesn't help.
Yeah, I mean, in perfect world, that shit sound good, lab. I'm gonna be honest
I
with you.
know, I know,
I
I know.
because again, I ain't never really have my wife wasn't really talking bad about me, and everything like that.
Hmm.
And she damn sure, I'm gonna say like me, but other people said stuff and it wasn't checked. You dig what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
But
right, right.
you can't control what people do, but you can't
Hmm.
control how you address it or if you
Hmm.
address it, right? I
Hmm.
can't control what somebody does or who likes or who says shit, but I can just control how it's addressed or
Hmm.
just addressing it. Period. You just don't know, lab. You just don't damn
Right.
know. I'm gonna say this too. Just you had those kind of things where, yeah, split ups or divorce and stuff like that. You don't really know how um I don't necessarily know if it's a right or wrong way in regards to how you handle if people gonna maybe tarnish the other person and how you react to it and everything. Would say, look, I'm gonna be the bigger person. I'm gonna take the high road. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
respond back and forth. It's men, we generally, unless you want them damn, say I don't want to get offensive, but I
Mm-hmm.
kind of look, damn me, punk ass man want to go back and forth arguing with a woman. Like, man, I ain't got
Right.
time for that. I'm gonna keep it moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some men want to be petty betty and everything, but that's
Mm-hmm.
you. I don't want to, I'm not one of them. But I damn sure ain't type of person to sit here and let you just keep and you can't
Dogging
control
me
what
out.
somebody say, like,
Mm.
hey man, look, I ain't gonna be with so many damn nice guys, right? And those kind of things, it's funky because you don't want to lose your damn state of mind
Right.
arguing back
Right.
for
Right.
you know what? It's one thing about it. You need to know this as a man. You cannot go back and forth with a woman because you go low,
Mm-mm.
she go lower. You go low, she
Mm-hmm.
go lower. And then she gonna go so damn low. You know what I'm saying? Oh
Right.
Lord, you
Right.
saying that?
Right. Right. He said that. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't even compete with it.
You
You
correct.
can't even
You
compete with it.
correct.
Let that shit go. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
Slick said, lab, divorce is messy. You took away their lives, but people can only be the bigger person so many times. Absolutely, man. Shit. I
Mm.
remember sitting down there with you and Slick, like, man, this mother, on one.
Right.
Boy,
Right. Right. I
boy, boy,
remember
boy.
them days.
But it's the you don't know till you go through it. And at the end of the
Right.
day, and the way the thing about it, lab, is when we start talking about again, we're talking about black fatherhood and public perception. The way something impacts me and the way something impacts you can be totally different. And
Mm-hmm.
I say this shit all the time. I can't tell you how to feel. You can't tell
Mm-hmm.
me how to feel. Man, you get over it, man. Don't let that bother you. Bullshit.
Right.
Because you know what? Poochie didn't give up them weekends, Lab did. Poochie didn't give
Mm-hmm.
up them dreams, Lab did. And the more ignorant shit in the world is to say, well, that's what you did, this, that, and that.
You
No.
chose to do that.
Yeah. The impact that had on you is your impact. And that's
Mm-hmm.
not fair for me to tell you how to feel when you feel like you've been done wrong. And to your
Mm-hmm.
point, just you speaking from one perspective of a divorce. Hell, another perspective is once them kids grow up, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know how the hell you done sacrifice to do this, and y'all was expecting to go to law school, and now they joker here
Mm-hmm.
want to fly kites. So
Yeah.
you done made 20 years of sacrifice for this, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right. Right.
again, I can't tell Lab how to feel. I think that
Mm-hmm.
is one of the most effed up things people do when they talking to people. If they tell people, "Well, you got to get past. You can't let man.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, no. Now look,
No.
now I'm a big proponent in this. You don't need to dwell on that shit too long. Now you can feel
Right.
bad. You don't need to dwell in it or let that overtake your life.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think no one has the right to tell somebody how to feel. Now
Mm-hmm.
you
Especially
you
about a
you
situation that impacted their lives.
shit, you damn sure right. You damn
Right.
sure right, man. I have no idea of the impact that thing had on you. But as a friend, I always tell people, look, man, you can't deal in that shit too long.
Right. Right.
You know,
48 hours. What you say? 48 hours.
48 hours, 48
Yeah.
hours, but start
Yeah.
working on it because
Right.
it
Right.
ain't gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't saying don't hurt. I ain't saying don't be mad. But your ass got to come out of that, or it'll overtake you. We're talking
Mm-hmm.
about black fatherhood and public perceptions. Just going through different things, guys. Leave questions or comments, anything in the chat. We stream live on Facebook, YouTube, not Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter with LinkedIn, and I'm forgetting something else that we're on with the platforms. I'm trying to look see if anybody left in the comments. I guess everybody gun shy. Everybody is
They're not used to seeing my pretty face on here with you.
yeah, that's the man behind the microphone,
Right.
DJ
Right.
Lee.
Right. So I want to touch on one thing that I think a lot of people try to use as a crutch.
Talk
You
to
know,
me.
and then maybe, and like we said, we can't tell people how to feel. You know, I'm not shy about it. I've discussed it before. You know, I don't know my father, and I think
Mm,
a lot of times people get that I don't know my father, so I didn't have anybody to teach me how to be a father. But for me, my perspective was I didn't know my father, but I'm gonna damn sure make sure my children. know theirs. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I'm going
Mhm.
down, and that may have led me to getting married young. I mean, it's a lot of factors in my relation in my life that probably led me to get married young, and make sure my children knew me, and that's probably one of them. But a lot of people use that crutches. I didn't know my father, so I don't know how to be a man, or I don't know how to be a father, and I just don't think that narrative is that narrative is a good excuse, because if you knew how you felt not knowing your father, or your father not being around, when you want to make sure that your children don't have that same feeling, when you want to make sure that your children knew you so they don't have to say the same things that you said. And that's one of the things me not knowing my father never really bothered me. I don't want people to sit here and think, oh, I was so depressed. It never bothered me, because why? I had five uncles and a grandfather. You get what I'm saying? And we always talk about how our grandfathers raised us. And my grandfathers and my uncles raised me to where I didn't miss the father. You get what I'm saying? I didn't miss him at all, because I had so many people to fill that void. Now, I know people don't have five uncles and a grandfather to fill that void, but at the same time, you should want to make sure that your children don't have a void of their own that they need to fill. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely, lad. But
Mm.
I'm going to be brutally honest with you, and I say this shit all the time. You got a 50-50 chance of having a good daddy. So the
Right.
shit, see, a lot of times, a lot of times people, you go back to what we were talking about before, don't necessarily want to own their stuff. You don't know how they're gonna turn out. You don't know
Hmm.
how that's gonna turn out in regards to, my daddy being there. We're doing it. Well, I didn't have a father figure, could have did this, that, and that. You don't know if you had a dad who been there to beat your ass and teach
Right.
you how
Right.
to
Right.
do this and all that. You don't know that. Because you know
Right.
what? It's plenty of daddies. Bro, let me tell you something, bro. It's plenty of daddies out here that are there and they don't know how to do nothing. You know what, like I
Right.
think, like I really I just looked at it. I could have had that damn the we'll talk about it later with the damn
Hmm.
Instagram. I'm looking at the damn
Okay.
board. I had to switch
Okay.
for the Bluetooth and I just didn't have it in there.
Right.
I ain't been on here in a minute, man. I ain't DJ
Okay.
Loud. Know how to work the ones and the twos.
Right.
But when people don't necessarily want to own stuff because get so caught up into it. And that's why it's very important we have a conversation like we having tonight because when people don't address certain things and they'll say that because I go to them schools all the time. They got like, oh, my father ain't here and all that kind of stuff, and I get it. I get it. My father just like a lot of kids my age, 90s. Parents might be in the street, be on dope and stuff like that. Love them,
Hmm.
dad. Don't get me wrong, but that ain't no secret. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
I'm
Right.
glad he got everything together. Love him to death. But at the end of the day, shit. What if
Right.
I'd been around that?
Right.
What if I'd
Right.
have been around that? You know what I'm saying? Hell, I got enough tales
Without doing it,
seeing
without
some
being around.
cocaine escapades growing up like hell that I can giggle about right now.
Right.
But shit, boy, I don't know they had defects back then. If some of the shit I
They did
seen,
have defects. It
yeah,
was a
hey
lot lenient
man,
back then.
woo, boy. Some of the shit I seen in them 80s growing up as a little toddler, walking around like, whoa, hey, shit.
Right, right.
Hey, man, things worked out. You know what I'm
Out.
saying? So,
I
shit.
agree.
So, own your shit. Own your shit. And I'm going to tell you something. That's one of the biggest evolutions we have as an adult, especially as men, when we can own our shit and just say, you know what? I just made a bad decision because you might not
Hmm.
necessarily have no daddy, you might not necessarily have no uncle, granddad, or this, that, and that, but you had a mama tell you right and wrong, right?
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, does it make a difference having that male
Right.
leadership? Absolutely. But at the end, what you got is what you got.
Hmm.
What you
You
got
got to
is
make the
what you
best
got.
of what you have.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, what you had, you may not necessarily get in the future. You don't
Hmm.
know if you're gonna get a supportive woman, a faithful woman. You don't know if you're gonna get kids with defects and all this.
Hmm.
Man, life a mother. You know what I'm saying? And so the
Right.
stuff that's gonna come out with you, man. Look, you just gotta roll with it. You gotta
Hmm.
roll with it, man. I mean, that's just how things go. You can do everything right in life, and shit just go, whoa, man.
Hmm.
That's I done had start. I done damn reset probably 5 or 6 times in the past 3 damn weeks. all this bullshit I've been going through.
Right, right,
So,
right. And
and
that's
it's
one
not
thing I want you to touch on your show outline is the weight that Black fathers carry. We didn't get to that part. I was kind of trying not to talk about it, but I think that's important that we hit on that part because there's a lot of things that Black fathers have that they carry around that a lot of people don't discuss. A lot of people don't realize it, or they may realize it but don't think it's a big deal. And it's a weight. It's constantly a weight, and I think these ones that you have highlighted are very important to discuss for a little bit, before we end the show. But I want you to touch on them so we can talk about them because they're very important. I think they're very important to me, but I think they're very important as to the narrative of Black fatherhood as well.
when we start talking about like the weight, typical, we have a lot more things that we typically more responsible for the most, and that be expect to be the provider, the protector, the mentor, the therapist, the leader,
Mm-hmm.
the coach, financial planner, role model. And hell, the mama might still want you to be the lover. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So you,
right, 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 right.
yeah, I ain't got no damn S on my damn chest. You know, and on top of that, the F up part about we're constantly forced to prove that we don't fall into that stereotype.
That's
So
it
it's like
right
we
there.
gotta overshow we a good daddy as
Hmm.
opposed to just doing what we do or even
Yes,
making mistakes. She's like, you gotta overprove that, that's the case. And
hmm
it's crazy because I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just that a person that's not interested, white, blue, black, green, and yellow father, they don't get questioned. Because
right,
you ever hear like somebody talk about somebody they know a quote unquote sorry ass daddy. That shit don't bother
hmm
them.
right,
That shit
right.
cut you to the knife if you really care about your kids.
Hmm.
Sometimes people more so don't want to necessarily have people have a negative perception of them. But if you really care about your kids, you don't want nobody talking about that. That bother
Right,
you. But
right,
a cat don't give a damn. Man, I ain't studying that damn kid. I don't give a F about that kid. And
right,
women don't really
right.
bother them either. They don't
They
really get
don't.
bothered. They
They
don't bother
don't.
them because they be embarrassed. They be
Hmm.
embarrassed. They don't sit
The
there and lay
choices
their
that
egg
they
with this.
made.
Yeah, they don't lay their egg with this damn fool. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that shit firsthand.
Yeah,
Real
yeah.
talk. So those kind of things, man, it's very, very, very tough. Like that weight of just I gotta overshow that I care about my kids. I gotta overshow that I'm a good father. I gotta overshow that black men I do. You know what I'm saying? So I can't. It's tough enough just doing the shit, but you
Hmm.
just want to see people look at it like, yeah, I'm an involved father. I gotta come do that, and that
Hmm.
shit it it
It weighs you
it
down.
weighs, especially over time.
And then you put on the weight
Mhm.
of working and make sure you keep a job and showing that you're a good employee and those kind of things are, you got all that weight on you. And I don't think society realizes, and I don't think our women that we choose to be with or marry realizes it because it's a constant thing. It's constant. When I was married, it was constant. My wife had education. My ex-wife had education and all that stuff, but it was like she just couldn't keep a job. Her personality wasn't conducive to being being in the work environment, I guess you could say. So it was a constant. I got to make sure I keep this job because even though we needed a two-income household because we had three children, there was just no way around that. But she can't keep this job, so I got to make sure I keep a job. Well, I got to take more mess at this job because I can't afford to lose it because I know within the next few months she's probably gonna lose hers. So it was just one of those things. I got to make sure my kids can't go to school looking raggedy because then they not gonna blame the mama. They gonna blame the daddy. You get what I'm saying? If the kids go to school looking raggedy, if the lights cut off in the house, or if there's no food within the house, it's not gonna be mama's fault. It's always daddy's fault.
Yeah,
Always. So I gotta carry all that weight around all the time.
yeah, you get blamed for the faults and you get
Hmm.
ignored for their success. That's just how that
Hmm.
is. They're unfair and different. That's just how it is. And it's very damn rough. Again, like show we're talking about black fatherhood and public perception, how we change the narrative. Another thing you change the narrative, what I just say, how do it start? It start with us. The shift begins with men actually living in the life. You just gotta
Hmm.
just be that and just be unapologetic and be cool with it. We change the narrative by telling our own stories. How we having a conversation now, but just speaking on it and stuff like that. And when you start speaking on it and telling your own stories, you never know who you inspire. You never know who
Hmm.
you never know who need to hear that, right? You show your involvement openly and unapologetically. You know what I'm saying? A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, eh, people know me. I'm a fool with it when you try to sit here and tell me, well, you know, you don't have to do this with your son. You have to do that. Let me tell you something. When I want people's opinion, I ask for it.
Right, right, right,
Say that I don't want no unsolicited advice. People are
right,
there
right.
to tell you what you should do with your children and have never done what you've done with yours, whatever. I've
Mm-hmm.
got that a lot over the years. Like people, especially when people I've seen, and it happens all the time, and that's why I damn near lose it. People get my kids advice. Oh shit, they kids ain't never did, or they never done with their children.
Right,
You gotta
right,
just be, just cool with being cool with checking for like, look, man, I don't want you saying shit to my child because
right.
at the end of this is where I and my children agree with me anytime. I never say my way is the right way. My way is Pooch's way. And I
Right,
ain't gonna ever
right.
say nobody else stuff is, they, just is, this is what, what you should do. This worked
Mm-hmm.
for me. And what you can try it, but it may not work for
Right,
you. Because we talk about this all the
right.
time. Financial constraints, time constraints, and family
Mm-hmm.
constraints and stuff like that. Tree Retirement 5571 says absolutely no unsolicited advice. Because that's the thing about it. You get
Mm-hmm.
around people want to say shit all the damn time. You're like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't asked you that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
didn't ask you for no advice at all.
Mm,
No
mm,
advice.
We got to make sure we mentoring young fathers. Oh, geez, you got to
Mm-hmm.
step up. Instead of talking about that young man, holler at him. Now, is everybody going to listen to you? Absolutely not.
Of course not.
But but at the end of the day, hey, young blood, let me holler at you, whatever. Oh, gee, I got it, whatever. Cool. You
Mm-hmm.
tried. It's over. But you
Mm-hmm.
got to sit here and do it instead of criticizing them and talking about them. Black fathers, sit out there and try to reach out to them. Again, it's not guaranteed they're going to listen. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, when you're talking to people, talk with them, not to
Mm-hmm.
them. Talk with them instead of to. Because
Mm-hmm.
everybody, again, if you grown, you're grown, and you can still be young. But like, hey man, just I understand you're older. I understand, and I understand you got more years on the planet. But that don't necessarily mean you're wiser with certain things. You just
Right.
got more, more years on the planet. But you got to talk with people, and it got to be respect because respect shows love, and people
Mm-hmm.
sit there and say, "Okay, cool, I get." You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
when
I
you
think
sitting there
I,
talking,
I think we will find that younger. We say that they may not listen, but I think we'll find them more receptive if we approach them
mm-hmm.
like you saying, we approach them not to talk at them, but to talk to them. Because
Yeah,
I've approached young folks before. It may not be on the fatherhood issue, but I've approached people. I've been in the Waffle House, and the guy came, and the young guy and his friends came in, and they got extendos out their pocket. And I say, "Hey, nephew, let me holler at you a second. Don't be coming in here with that, the extendo covered up all these folks in here." And he appreciated it. When he left, all right, I appreciate you. It wasn't. He didn't take it wrong at all because I approached him in a way that he understood, hey, I'm just doing it for your betterment. You get what I'm saying? We can't have this going on and all these folks in here, somebody call and say you did something wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I think we would find that I think that narrative also is a narrative that we have to change. I think young folks will be a little bit more are a little bit more perceptive if you approach them right. You don't approach them on the anger tip or you just approach them as I'm your family. We good. I want to make sure you good so you can make it home to your family and I can make it home to mine. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's what we have to learn how to do. We have to learn how to communicate with them to where they understand that we're not doing this out of spite. We're doing this out of love.
yeah, absolutely. And when you see people going through stuff, you see guys going through custody battles, co-parenting challenges, financial setbacks, holler at them. Got to
Hmm.
support them. Got to talk to them. Again, those are the things I think a lot of time folk get missed with. Like, hey,
Hmm.
when you're going through that, I mean, it is extremely important to have them safe havens and all the other kind of stuff we're doing. And you
Hmm.
got to be able to, to support people going through them storms because shit, bro, ain't nothing like it. Like I tell anybody, I don't wish that bullshit on
On
nobody.
nobody.
Man, I'll be honest with you, dog. I ain't had you a slick around shit. Ain't no telling what the hell I could have damn did. You know what I'm saying?
You gonna be fine.
Yeah, I ain't shit, boy. I told you I ain't never think about hurting myself, but
Right.
man, I ain't gonna lie.
Right, right, right.
When we control the message, we control. the world can't paint over it, and that's very
Hmm.
important. And you understand, son, one thing about it too, guys. What society, what black fatherhood is all going to be evolving. We're emotionally open. We think generationally. We got to
Hmm.
be teaching financial literacy, prioritize mental health the way my granddaddy and the way
Hmm.
his partners them. People more openly thinking and stuff. Cycles of silence and distance. It's different. I
Hmm.
can't. Some things from a structure standpoint, I raised my kids the same way I grew up, and some things I
Hmm.
gotta be like, nah, it's more open. The kids live out their
Right.
phone. They got other stuff like that. They are a whole lot more damn sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Now
Hmm.
my kids know I might snap, tell them, no, anybody know me, stop being old punk ass boy and all that stuff.
Right. Right.
But I
Right.
gotta be mindful sometimes, like, man, he might can't handle that because I think I'm a very mentally tough person. And I think my kids
Hmm.
are too with certain things, but they ain't poochie, right? So certain
Right.
things, just fatherhoods, we gotta just, we evolve. But that's why I say sometimes we gotta have those places where guys can kick it and bounce ideas off each other and learn from each
Most
other with
definitely.
that. In society, what society needs to understand, again, tonight we're talking about black fatherhood and public perception. Black fatherhood isn't rare. It's just underreported, undervalued,
Hmm.
underrecognized. When people say, well, the black father answer is simple. We're right here, working, we're building, we're loving, we're protecting, doing what we always done, and even when the world refuses to see it, right? And one thing I just want to kind of talk with you guys, in closing and everything. And I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation about everything. Changing the narrative isn't about proving anything to society. It's about letting black fathers see themselves represented accurately and proudly. Just not like, damn, now
Hmm.
that ain't how it is and stuff like that. Tyler Perry then became a billionaire. Again, you can sit here and say, well, that my audience and my women and all that kind of shit. But like, hey man, like, look, it's some, you look at a couple of Tyler Perry movies, there's some sick shit when they look to black fathers, real talk.
Hmm. Right.
And made billions of dollars on that. And women have enjoyed it. Hell, not even women,
Right.
just black folks, period, they enjoyed that shit. And not even
Hmm.
just black folks, people, period, seeing that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But you seeing a proud black father where you sit here and say, I'm in my own, this me being me, it's tough seeing it, right? And it's about giving our sons and daughters a picture of fatherhood that looks like them, sound like them, and understands the reality. Black men aren't just part of the story. We are the story. And the
Hmm.
time the world starts telling it correctly. So you got to be cool, fellas. We're like, nah, this shit how it is. And not be
Hmm.
so bite your tongue when somebody try to tell you this how you need to be. And sisters,
Right.
if you turn around and see shit that ain't cool or whatever, damn your personal situation, damn your past situation. Nah, own that. It's far too often, man. People want to skip certain things and say, hey, man, these how these daddies are. Certain things like the daddy and your ex-husband, your dad and your ex-boyfriend, them two different things.
Two
They
different
two
people.
different things. They ain't got shit to do with you. Now, if it's a
Right.
bad situation, somebody get mistreated, that's a whole different conversation. But based on how y'all interact, now let that go. Let that go. And
Hmm.
the same thing too, fellas. At the end of the day, brothers, we like y'all don't get along no more. She done did this. She done moved on. She this, that, and that. Damn, move on. Hell,
Hmm.
hey, your baby, your baby. You ain't
Hmm.
she ain't dealing with you. She done moved on. Hey, take it, go from there. But we do not need to be creating narratives that don't need to be there, and we need to be open enough to fixing things if they no longer if they're not right. We got to be
Hmm.
okay with it. Got to be okay with it, man. Listen, it's been a great conversation again tonight. We talked about black fatherhood and public perception and correcting the narrative. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, man. I appreciate you working with me, lab and
No
everything.
problem, brother.
Yeah, I know
Anytime.
next we ain't gonna have a show next week because of Christmas, man. I probably go live to go to goal setting video and everything. But man, let me tell y'all something. 2026 has been awesome. 2025.
25.
Damn. Man.
26 gonna be
Hey,
even awesomer.
that 11. I got here. I got my scotch and shit. I'm sipping.
Right.
But let me say this: 2025 has been an awesome year for me, man. And we've grown, and business been great. The channel been great and stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to 26. And I want to tell everybody, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate and love you guys, man. And also being supporting me. Everybody at Misfits Radio, Misfits TV, and everything. Just seeing us grow over the years with all the other channels and stuff. But please continue to tune in, dial in, share the information. And like, hey, holla at your boy. Hey, Pooch, go over this. Pooch, talk about this. This is something you can look into.
Hmm.
I'm open to it. Now I don't need to talk about shit that ain't got nothing to do with this. We ain't talking about the damn
Ain't got nothing to do with me. Right, right,
the damn Martians, and we ain't finna be stuck on Trump.
right, right,
That ain't
right.
what we talk about. But if it's something that you think that can be betterment of us, just with families and motivating, seeing people have from a development standpoint, man, feel free to reach out to me. But again,
Hmm.
from the bottom of my heart, I just want to tell all you guys I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and I'll talk with you soon. Lad, appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks. All right.
Thank you, man. I'll talk with you, man.
All right.